Well, just put the fire out on night 21 here, and I was just thinking I'm super psyched that this is all set up and that hopefully those boards are going to work. I should be able to cut up the rest of the trees that I have down already and have enough panels to do a 6-foot by 10-foot porch here. So we'll see how it comes out. The mold on the logs has been driving me crazy. Wish I could figure that out. But the inside, anything inside, the wood inside doesn't mold. So it's just the outside area, which I don't know why that is. But another night out here, and yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Should be an interesting day. So it's morning of day 22. You can hardly see anything because we're in the canvas tent. But I just woke up and it's been getting a lot of moisture between the pad and the blanket I have over here. And I just have these blankets just to add some extra warmth. And they're really light and they're made of a plasticky polyester stuff. So they usually don't mold up and whatnot, but they get wet and then they'll start smelling bad and whatnot, and I'm not really sure why it's happening. Has something to do with me warming up the area and then the pad still being cold or something. So I guess I'm not going to do that, because when I'm out in the woods and I have my sleeping bag right on the pad, sometimes my sleeping bag's a little damp at the end, but the pad is never wet or anything like that. So I don't know. The difference is this blanket over there. So I'm going to put the blanket under the pad so it still adds some warmth to the situation, and see if that cuts down on moisture. Because the moisture, you're just always fighting the moisture when you're in woods like this. And it rained all last night and it's still raining this morning, and it's like 9 o'clock in the morning. It's still been raining on and off. So yeah, it's a bummer, but I'm trying to keep things dry and mold free in here. Yeah, 90 days, that's going to be pretty hard. I'd say at the 60-day mark this place is going to be pretty rough, but I'll have it on the platform by then, so hopefully that'll change things. And we'll put the wood stove in here and fire it up, and that's the difference. I mean, I'll probably have to move the wood stove in here soon and start firing it up during the day and just drying all this stuff out in here. But yeah, morning of day 22. Alright, so the rain's let up a little bit, but I figured I'd come out and talk to you guys a little bit about what I do when it's raining. And usually when it's raining out here to the point where I'm not going to be able to do any work, I spend the day either listening to audiobooks or reading. And lately I haven't had many books to read. I've gone up to the library to get some stuff, but my LibriVox app that I have on the iPad is what I've been using a lot of to do a lot of reading and listening to books. And usually I get caught up on a writer and I read everything that he has to offer. Like last year I read 3 of John Muir's books and then listened to the rest of his writings on audiobook. So it was probably like 7-8 books by John Muir. And I kind of like to read everything that a writer does, so I really get the full scope of the writer. And the last month and a half or 2 months, actually I guess since the beginning of summer, I've been reading all of Jack London's books. So I've read a couple of his books and listened to his audiobooks. I read White Fang and Call of the Wild, and I listened to People of the Abyss, Iron Heel, and right now I'm listening to Valley of the Moon, which is, those are books that are a lot easier to listen to for me than to read, because they're all written in 19th century English. And I don't know, reading it can be kind of monotonous, and listening to it on audiobook I still enjoy it quite a bit. But this Friday when I went to upload episode 2, I downloaded a couple other books that I think you guys would be more interested in. One is The The Tale or the Story of Kit Carson, which should be a pretty good one, which I don't know much about. But then the other one is Woodcraft by Nesmith, which a lot of you guys have probably already read or know something about. I haven't read it yet. All I know is that he was, a 19th century outdoorsman who did a lot of work with hand tools, and he probably is going to have a lot of information on how to run a camp like what I have, but back about 100 years ago. So I'm very interested to get into that book, and as I get into Nesmith's book, we'll probably do some more discussion about that. I also looked for Kephart's book, but I couldn't find it anywhere. I'm going to check the library next week to see if I can find anything by Kephart up there, because I really need something to read as well, because these audiobooks are nice, but sometimes I like sitting in the woods and not making any noise. So reading is a lot better for that. The audiobooks, everybody in the forest, though there's usually nobody in the forest with me, but if there was, they'd be able to hear the audiobook. And sometimes I just like being quiet in the forest. It's a lot easier when you're reading than it is an audiobook. Sometimes I like going down to the river too while I'm reading, so I can watch animals silently and read. But that's what I do on rainy days. And a lot of Jack London lately. I really enjoy Jack London's writings, and his writings are really interesting because he was around in the 60s and I think 50s and maybe the 40s, but all of his writings are of like 1906 or like 1900 to 1915. That's when a lot of his writings are based, and they're about the labor problems at the time and the poverty problems, and it's really interesting to me. But yeah, day 22, sitting in the canvas in the rain. So I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Well, it's the end of day 22, I think, yeah? Is that what it was this morning? I got a potato in the coals, which is going to take forever. It's a huge potato. I'll probably bury it even more after I get that sausage in a bun. But yeah. Potatoes and rice and plenty of sausage. It's pretty much what I have on my menu every night, due to the Amish market having all these great deals on these frozen sausages, and the neighbors let me keep them up there. So on Fridays I go up to the neighbors, grab a frozen jug of water out of the freezer that I put in the week before, and they have an ice maker too. I grab some ice from their ice maker, and then grab a bunch of the frozen sausages, put them in the cooler when I get back down here. Working out pretty good. Eating like a champ. But running out of the funds for running over there though, so soon we're going to be getting down to just potatoes and rice for a while probably. But that's okay. I don't mind that. And yeah, hopefully tomorrow. This weather's supposed to break tomorrow. It's just been raining all day. It rained all night last night. We got mold in the tent, and kind of disappointing, but tomorrow it's supposed to get nice, and we're going to get to work on this platform and hopefully finish it up pretty quick here, because I've got a couple projects that I want to get on before October. And it's September 12th or 13th today. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Hopefully it will be some good working on that thing tomorrow. I keep on smelling this awesome sweet smell. It smells like watermelon. So I don't know, I think it's probably the neighbor's garden that's not too far from here. She's probably growing a bunch of watermelons or something. It smells really sweet and like watermelon all the time. I can smell it in the air. Alright, well, I'm going to eat some food and then hit the sack. Listen to some more audiobooks. See you in the morning. It's just so wet out, but still going to go down to the river and check things out, see how high it is, and see what kind of animals might be down there. So, I'll see you guys when we get down there. No wildlife so far. We're almost to the river. Always could be something in the river. Never know. Heard some rustling, but it sounded like squirrel rustling. Oh, nothing really interesting, but last night I came down here and noticed right there, that tree was not in the river 2 days ago. So this last thunderstorm or whatever took it down. And it looks like I'll be able to cross the river, because this is the land that I have access to hunting to. And I usually have to cross way down there and then come back around, but it looks like I'll be able to cross there. But you can see how the bend is there. That's not natural, so it's cracked right there in the middle. I'm sure when I go to cross that, it's gonna break in half. That's how one way you usually check. If you see kind of an angle that doesn't look like it would ever grow naturally with that sharp of an angle, means that the bridge crossing there is probably broken inside. And you still could probably cross it if the fibers are holding well, but if not, it is going to break. So right there it wouldn't matter. The water's only knee deep there and it's not moving that fast, so it wouldn't be a problem. I'll probably try to cross it tomorrow or the next day when the weather's a little nicer, but no game right at the river at least. But these are all maples, maple grove here along the river, and then as you go out away from the river it turns into white pine forest mostly, with some eastern hemlock in there. Nice area, and you get thickets. Anywhere that you have thickets, there's good game birds and deer, and the deer usually hang out in this stuff too, because the maples and oaks produce food for them. And this ferns is a really dense, thick fern that's about waist high, and a lot of birds and animals like to hide in that. So it's a good habitat out here that we have. I really like it. I enjoy myself out here a lot. It's beautiful. I mean, you leave the canvas tent and come down here any time of day, and there's good chance there's going to be wildlife around, and it's just beautiful, calming, relaxing. So I'm going to hang out here until the rain starts back up and then go back up top. So I'll see y'all later. A woodchuck was just floating the river. I don't know if he saw me or what. He just went under the water real quick, and I haven't seen him come back up. I'm not sure if he saw me or not. There he is. Sweet. That's awesome. He doesn't even know we're here. He's checking all these fishing holes. I don't know if it's an otter or what it was. Kind of looks like maybe it's a small beaver or a woodchuck or an otter. He's swimming underneath that log structure there. That's crazy. When he comes up, I'm going to have to put you guys away so I can get a look at him in the binoculars so I can identify what he actually is. Last time he stayed under for like 30 seconds. Oh, fish. He is scattering some fish. I don't know when he's gonna come up. I'll see seen this guy in the river before, but I wasn't sure what he was because I never got a good look at him. Oh, it just sounded like he just came up somewhere. I don't know, this video is getting too long. I'll bring you back if he pops back up. Damn, we just missed it. I think it was a black duck or it was a female wood duck. It just went flying by. She must have seen me before I saw her. She left the river real quick. And she went flying by me in that direction. But that woodchuck or whatever it was didn't come back up, so I don't know exactly what it was. I still didn't get a really good look at it. I'll have to look at the video and try to zoom in on it and see if I can see what it is. It had a flat tail on it though, and it was pretty small, so I think that's a woodchuck, maybe, what that is, or maybe a small beaver. I don't know, it's pretty cool though. This is what I'm saying. This is why I need better filming equipment. I spent all my money and all my savings on equipment on equipment I needed to survive out here and live out here, but now I need to come up with the stuff to buy some nice filming equipment because I have really outstanding opportunity, especially if I do, you know, at least 3 months every single year. That's what I'm planning on doing out here. That's a lot of opportunity with the amount of wildlife that's out here. So I gotta get a couple more cameras for me to be where I need to be with that. But I'll see you guys when I get back up to camp. Well, I've decided while standing here that I'm gonna build, I think, like a little bit of a blind right in between these trees here. Like cover that up there, and probably make a wall right here too to cover up. So I can just walk in right here and sit right there, and you can see the river in both directions from there. So if I put a blind there, I see ducks float in the river every single day. So if I come out here in the morning and sit out here until afternoon, I should have opportunities at ducks right here at the property, right at the corner here. So yeah, next couple days I'll probably come down and build that blind. I'll bring you guys down when I do. That tree's hollow. This one's dead right here and hollow, and it has like an entry there, so something's living in there. I don't know what it is, but he's just gonna have to deal with it. There's like all kinds of crazy mushrooms growing off of it. Yeah, look at that. Alright, day 23, morning. Coffee is on. Got a big fire going because it was freezing cold this morning. I have no stove in the tent. Yeah, again, for those of you who are wondering how the water collection works, mainly my buddy Eye on Health. There it is. I just emptied that the other day. When was it? 2 days ago I was showing you this? 2 or 3 days ago? Well, it downpoured all night, which happens at least once a week here. So I can fill that, which is, right now it looks like it has about 11 gallons in it. Maybe 10 gallons. And I can usually get 15 gallons out of that a week, easily enough. Which I would say I use probably 40 gallons a week, though, of water. So if I put the buckets on the other side of the canvas tent in the same spot where the tarp's low, so you can see the tarp dips right there. So everything collects from the whole tarp and comes down right between this 4 feet section here. But if I put my buckets on the other side, then I can obviously fill those too on rainy nights. But yeah, the hike with the 2 5-gallon buckets from the river is actually some really good exercise. They're 40 pounds for each bucket, so it's 80 pounds. And then I hike from the river, which isn't that far. You guys have walked the river before with me down the trail there. And then right when I get to the hill here to come to the highland, you know, you got that 80 pounds and you hammer it up the hill, your legs are burning and you're feeling good. So I'm collecting water, here and there, and when we get this place set up more permanently, I'll be collecting a lot more water, but running to the river isn't a problem, so that's what I do most of the time. But there you go, buddy. That's my explanation for that. Day 23. I'm getting the fire going. I'm going to start some laundry so it can be soaking for the day in hot water, and then I'm going to make some plates for the platform and get that deck done. Hopefully we can get a bunch of it done today. So I'll check in with you guys later when I'm probably done working for the day. So there is a mouse that's been driving me crazy. I've been claiming sanctuary from the rain under the flaps of the tent. So I can hear him scurrying under the tent, like right under that flap there that comes down. It's like vinyl. And it's usually pretty dry under there, apparently, and that's where he likes to hang out. He comes up in the corner over here, pokes his head through sometimes. And, I don't know, I had lots of opportunity to just smash him with the axe while I'm laying there in the cot. But it's so barbaric, and I feel bad. I'll probably have to set a trap. Traps aren't that bad, because you don't have to be part of the whole thing. You just come and remove the cold corpse. But, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what I did. Last night, though, I was angry because he was over here getting into a bunch of stuff and jumping around. I could see him. So I took my walking stick right there and I threw it from the cot at him. And, of course, I threw it pointy side and it stuck into a brand new one of my backup bottles of water that I have out here that are unopened, like purchased water I bought. So I have clean water. I have a couple gallons here usually. Well, I had it sitting there last night, and the walking stick went like a spear in the air and punctured right through the container, and all my fresh water started going all over the place. So I had to get up out of bed and quickly figure out a way. Here it is right here. See, and there's the hole. Isn't that ridiculous? Damn mouse driving me crazy. I'm gonna have to put some traps out for him. But water's on, so I can do this laundry, and I'm gonna get to work. Tons of food. Laid a buffet out for him. He discarded all those ones. Those are all the ones that he used already and threw out, but there's 4 new ones in the middle that I put in there, and 2 of them are alive, so I don't know. They're not moving though. Oh, there he goes. There goes one. That other one right there is in pretty good form. He might get away. Well, feeding the spider, day 23. I don't know what kind of spider he is. I should look him up, try to figure it out. I'll see you guys later. Well, little lunch break. It's a some sort of brat with cheddar cheese on a stick, and we've got another piece of a log here that I'm going to cut the next plank with. Alright, so it's 4 o'clock on day 24 in the evening. Look at this pile of chips. So that huge pile of chips and about 6.5 hours of labor, and that's what I have to show for it, which a couple of those were there when we started today. I think I only got like 7 or 8 of those. Yeah, 8 done today in the 6.5 hours. So it's taken a while, but that's pretty much the porch. It's going to come out it's probably going to be 5 or 6 deep and come out from there. So I have probably another 15 of those or so to do. Quite a bit. Probably 3 days of working to get that done. Unless I take a day off in between or it rains or something, then it'll be even longer. But it's going pretty well, and I'm not really sure. I'm trying to decide if I should do this all the way down to put the canvas tent on. I was planning on using thick plywood, but I have been thinking of how much it rains and how wet it is that the thick plywood's probably gonna not last very long, probably not even last until next year. And also, being 2 feet apart here, I'm going to have to put joist in or something so the plywood doesn't sag. Plus I have to buy the plywood for about $100, where this will just be like 4 or 5, probably be 3 or 4 more trees and about a week and a half's more work. But if it rains, the rain will go right through this without affecting it. Plus I can put a clear coat on this in November and protect it for the winter. And yeah, the only problem is that when you have boards like this with all these cracks, you get a lot of cold air coming through during the winter. But I guess I could just put a rug over it, and that might do. Or once I put this floor down, I could put plywood on top of that, and then it would probably last a lot longer. But the plywood swells and doesn't deal well with the wetness, so I don't know. If I do it this way, though, that means I have a lot of work cut out for me, because it's actually a lot of work carving those up. And also, I'm keeping them kind of round. I could be carving them into flat planks, and it would probably be even quicker, actually. But I'm keeping them kind of rounded out. You see, they're rounded here, and that's just so they look like logs. That'll look cooler. And I don't know, I figure if I leave that material there, it'll make them a little stronger, maybe. But this is the end of day 24 for me. I'm gonna go get cleaned up and get some grub. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Alright, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon on day 25, and I've just got that log split so I can work it up. And I don't know, for a 6-hour work day, which I should probably be putting 8 in, but I only put about 6 hours in these last couple days, I'm able to get 8 to 10 of those plates done. So yeah, that's gonna be at least the decking for this thing. But not much else to film, just sitting here carving those things out. They take me about a half an hour a piece, which is pretty ridiculous, but yeah, they look good, and they look nice and carved up. Whoa. I think a piece of that tree that was stuck up in the oak tree over there just fell, finally, like a week and a half later. Anyways, it's going pretty good. I like it. I think it'll be too much work to do the whole platform like that, and it will probably leak a lot of cold air during the winter. But I'm going to finish up these boards, and tomorrow I'll probably be done with the porch section of this whole thing. And then I just got to figure out how we're going to get the plywood for the rest of the section. I'm also going to put the first log over there, across there, because the first 2 logs, if it was going to be a log cabin, would be that one there and this one right here, and then you do a vertical one and a vertical one, and then, you know, keep going. But I'm going to at least put the end log on and see how that looks, and we'll see if we can come up with the trees to finish it. But I don't think we're going to be able to. I think this is going to have to be a platform until next spring, and then we'll build some sort of like small building on top of this platform here, because I'm not going to have enough pine trees to make a whole cabin. I'll need like 30 of them, and there's no way I have 30 of them of the right size. But day 25, I'll see you guys tomorrow, or when something's happening. Alright, 8 in the morning, day 26. I want to bust out a couple plates at some point, a couple pieces for the decking over on the platform, but I think today I might have company. I'm not really sure. My phone, I don't really keep minutes on my phone when I'm up here, so people usually don't call until the last minute to tell me they're coming up, so they don't waste all my minutes and everything. So I'll know soon, I'm sure, if someone's coming up. And I think if my buddy comes up, he might be bringing his girlfriend out here too, so it'll be first time we've had some lady folks stay at the property. And yeah, I don't know, I probably won't get very much work done today because of that, but I've got to get this fire going here. Yeah, and I'd say for a long-term camp too, one of the most valuable items you can have is a large pot. That pot does 3.5 gallons of water, 3 gallons. Maybe it's 3.5, I think. That's a lot of water. And when you mix, if you put about 2.5 gallons of water in there and get it to a boil, and then mix it with the other 2.5 gallons that was in a 5 gallon, the water will still be over 140 degrees, which is pretty surprising. Or it's about that temperature, and you'll have about 3 or 4 hours before it'll be so cold that you can't take a shower with it. So 5 gallons of water is really easy to heat up with a bucket that big. And you gotta have it. You have to have a pot that large, definitely. For washing and for making shower water and everything like that. You gotta have it. So I just finished listening to Nesmic's Woodcraft on LibriVox, my LibriVox app. And it was a good book. It was a pretty short book. I'm still also listening to Jack London's Valley of the Moon, which is getting really good. The book 3 is really good of that. But Nesmic's Woodcraft book was really interesting, and I'd say we disagree on some points, but a lot of things he talks about are things that are very commonly overlooked in basic camping needs. So it's an interesting book. I recommend anybody out there going out there and getting Nesmic's Woodcraft and reading it. It's probably better to read, because I listened to that one on audiobook just because it's free and I saw it there. But they have a bunch of illustrations that he's done that he refers to, so you might want to get that in paperback and take a look at it that way. All of Jack London's books, though, are free. John Muir's books. I know I talk about it a lot, but I'm serious. You guys should download the LibriVox app, and you will have access to, I think, like over 10,000 free audio books. And a lot of them are old writings, but there's a lot of old books that you might not be interested in reading. It's a lot easier to listen to them through an audiobook than it is to read some of those older books because of just the old English and whatnot. But yeah, Nesmic Woodcraft, it was a great book, very interesting. And now I'll know what everybody's talking about when they refer to Nesmic from now on. Pretty familiar with him now. I've been wondering how Chickmunk digs his hole. Well, that's how he does it. That was not even a hole a second ago. He just made that whole hole. Look how deep he is in there. I was saying to the neighbor the other day how I've never seen like a dirt pile behind a squirrel hole, or behind a chickmunk hole. There's a little bit of a dirt pile in this one. I guess it's just so light that... Whoa! He just pulled an acorn out of there. Look at that thing. That was really deep. That wasn't even his home. He wasn't even building a home. That was just an acorn stash. That thing was really deep, but that thing looked like it was from this year. I don't know. Crazy little bastard. So he just came back and got in the hole again. What, you got more stuff in there? I see just his tail hanging out. He knows there's nowhere to go once he's in the hole. But he's not scared of me. Is there another acorn in there, man? Not sure. Way in there. Flick dirt all the way over here at me. Is there anything in there? Should have set the camera up on tripod. Arms are getting tired. He's breaking roots with his teeth. That was interesting. Man, he's in that hole. He is digging. Just his tail sticking out. Dirt flying up. There it is, another one, another acorn. I knew there was another one in there. Man, that was deep. That is from last year. It was like perfectly preserved. So, I don't know. It seems like he buries them for a year and then takes them out and brings them over to the house in fall. Because I see him burying fresh ones, but that one was not one from this year. You could tell how light the shell had become. Man, that's crazy. Now he's bringing it over to his hut. So I wonder, I bet you if I took the shovel and dug up that whole hole, there's probably a whole collection of acorns that he has in there. That's his little stash spot. It's crazy. Nope. There's 4 minutes watching a damn chickmunk. Alright, this is the third trip back. This has been 3 trips. He's back now. Look how deep he is in that hole. I don't know, maybe he decided there was nothing else left in the hole. See that chickmunk that we were just watching, that little chickmunk right there, he has way more gray on his tail. That's like an older chipmunk, and he does not like the little chickmunk that we were just watching. And there's another chickmunk that lives over in that corner that doesn't like him either. They're really territorial. But this one doesn't like me either. He's really skittish and he doesn't let me get close to him like the younger one does. But this one flips out if the one we were just watching comes anywhere near his area. Pretty interesting. Chickmunks doing their thing. I have probably, just on the highland up here, I have I think 5 or 6 chickmunks now. There were more at the beginning of spring, but the hawk and a couple other things have been eating them. But they have their own territories and they do not like each other going into each other's territories at all. They flip out, they squeak and run after each other, but this guy will run this other squirrel all the way across the other side of the property. Old timer. And as always, thank you for joining us on another episode of Season 5 Off the Grid Experiment with Uncle Dave and DEECEE's Adventures. Make sure you rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys all on the next video.